All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Friday Night Prepper Pre-Party Show. We are going live. We'll give people just a minute to get through notifications, and if anybody's watching ads or anything like that. Really appreciate everybody. As people are going through that stuff and the notifications are going out, let me go through a couple housekeeping things. If you're brand new to the channel, this is the Friday Night Prepper Pre-Party Show. I have a guest here with me tonight that I'm going to introduce in just a minute, but my channel, I usually release videos twice a week. Usually on Tuesdays, I do either a skill, teaching a skill, or some kind of product review. And then on Friday nights, I do the live stream. We're doing a lot of work lately with the garden, and it's getting pretty darn hot here in South Carolina. So that's probably going to put a damper on some of my outdoor footage. This happened last year too. It's kind of hard to shoot because the equipment gets so overheated that I've actually in the past lost some footage. So we'll do what we can with it. If you're returning to the channel, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We usually have a good crowd here on Friday nights. If you're on Instagram, real quick, I am doing a giveaway over on Instagram for the Get Out Gear camping blanket. So if you head on over there, it's prepping_with_Sarge. And it was pretty recent, like within the last 2 weeks, you should see the post. It's actually a reel, and it gives you the instructions on how to enter the contest for that. And that should probably be enough time for people to get notifications. I'm going to go ahead and introduce returning guest. Oh, how do I get rid of this? By the way, thank you, D-Man, for the super chat earlier, the super sticker. Returning guest, the Digital Prepper. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, it's been a while. We've been talking about getting back together, but it's good to finally get you back here.
Yeah.
So, how's your channel going?
It's pretty good. I've just reached over 2,000 subscribers.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that's kind of a I never would have thought that I would have made it that far, but there we go.
That's awesome. And if you all have not already subscribed to the Digital Prepper, he's been a friend to my channel for a long time, and we've had him on here many times. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link again. If you're watching this on replay, the link will also be in the description. So please go ahead and check out his channel. Digital Prepper is very tech savvy, keeps me up to date so that I don't accidentally get scammed by people. Really appreciate that. And he's also very active on Twitter. Make sure you're following him over there on Twitter. You are not on Instagram yet, right?
No, not yet.
Okay. Are you thinking about it?
I don't know. Possibly. I mean, I gotta figure out like what kind of pictures and stuff to post over there.
So basically, you can do like what you do with the shorts. Though they're reels over there is what they call it. So anytime I upload a short to my YouTube, it usually goes on there too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Instagram's pretty fun. It's for a while I was doing better over there than I was on YouTube. It seems to be kind of evening out at this point.
Ha.
Yeah. And let's see, I got a few people popping in on chat here. Let's say hello to a few people. We had a couple people in early. D-Man popped in early. Appreciate you. And Stuart's Prepping, thank you so much. Always good to see you. And Stuart's Prepping, he's over there on Instagram too, posts a lot. And Vanessa Kitty, good to see you. She's over there on Instagram. Let's see. D-Man does not create content. YouTube hates us in the manosphere. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate you. Fred Petros, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Dragon Slayer, thank you for popping in. And let's see. Be saved by grace today. I love that. Thank you. That's a great name. Bacon's good to see you. Always good to see you, my friend. Bacon's usually my bouncer here, so we don't get too rowdy here on the Friday Night Prepper Pre-Party Show, but if you do, Bacon will take care of you.
Hey there, Bacon.
And all right, Dragon Slayer just subscribed to you, Digital Prepper.
Oh, nice. I appreciate it.
So let's start a little bit with that. So you do talk a little bit about stuff that in the tech world. things that preppers may want to be aware of. We've talked a little bit about apps in the past, things like that. And you're really good about letting the community know about digital security issues. So what's the big thing right now in digital security that people need to be aware of? What's the latest and greatest virus that's out there?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of going on lately. I mean, every day there's some sort of like virus or some sort of like exploit that's happening either in like the Apple App Store, the Android App Store. I know like Microsoft and their like Windows Defender has had something happen to it. I'm not 100% sure. There's so much like in the news lately. And then you have the stuff kind of going on in Ukraine and Russia. They're kind of attacking each other with cyber attacks and such. It's just kind of crazy out there lately.
Yeah, and that I mean, I think it's probably, if we continue to support Ukraine, which it seems like we're going to do that, that we're probably going to be considered at least on the digital scale, like at least in the tech world. I think we're probably going to be seen as enemy combatants at this point, if we're not already.
You're not wrong.
Right. I have a couple little updates from the tech world. So I on my last solo hike that I went on, it's, for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm a therapist by trade. That's my primary trade. And the primary population that I work with right now is first responders. So one of the first responders that I was working with said something to me about, safety when you're solo hiking, and which I think I've always kind of taken for granted. I mean, I'm a pretty capable person. I've got good wilderness survival skills, things like that. I've got some martial arts training. So I'm not an easy victim, but there are things that could go wrong, like, snake bites and things like that. And we certainly have copperheads and black widows and alligators, although the alligators here in South Carolina don't usually attack a grown person. Little infants and stuff like that are a little bit more at risk. But this person said to me, like, you really need to be thinking about something like Life 360. So I did end up, and for those of you who are not familiar with it, Life 360 is an app that you can basically work with your family, or your friends too. You can add in whoever you want, and you can shut it off or turn it on, if you're worried about privacy issues. But when you have it turned on, your people in your circle can see exactly where you are, or at least your last pinged location. So like if I'm way out in the woods or whatever, and I'm not near a tower, it's going to get my last pinged location. So I did end up downloading that before my last solo hike, and of course I didn't have any issues or anything like that. But we tested it out. I had the wife check it. I was a couple hours away, way out in the woods, and worked pretty good. She was able to say, send me back screenshots of this is where you're showing you're at, and it was accurate, very accurate. So just want to throw that out there for people with families to kind of take a look at. There is some privacy issues, because it's tracking you, obviously, but you're giving up. You have to make that choice between safety versus privacy, and you do have the option to turn it off if you don't want it on all the time.
Yeah, I've made that. I've made that like well known in some of my videos where I'm talking about like different applications, or I'm talking about like getting rid of your digital presence online. That I mean, the digital age nowadays, it's made a lot of things like really convenient for us, and there is a kind of a balance between, well, do I want to give like Netflix, for example, my my information so that they they can like charge my credit card and know where I live, know my address and all that kind of stuff, so that I can watch Stranger Things or something. And if that's something that you don't want to do, then you don't have to put your information out there. But it's just be aware that there may be some things that you may or may not be able to do, that if you don't put some of your information out there. But it's just you have to kind of pick your battles with that.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you're wanting to ghost, there's great products out there for that as well, like the Mission Darkness bags and stuff like that, which pretty much, it's like a portable Faraday cage, and those things have been tested pretty good. If you want to ghost your signal, you can drop it in one of those bags, and you will be least unless you're in your car, which has its own, things that can be tracked. But if you're out in the woods or whatever, you want it to ghost, you can doing something like that, or you just leave. If you want it to be really unsafe, leave your phone in the car. Although I don't recommend that. In fact, I think I know for all the stuff we say about smartphones and things like that, I actually think that's one of the most important preps is having a smartphone and having the apps that make sense for you and your family.
Yep, I would definitely agree with that. But then, like at the same time, it's like you just gotta be aware of how to kind of keep your smartphone or smart device safe, by like not downloading a ton of applications that you got to watch the permissions on some of the applications. Make sure that you do things, like turn off location or GPS if you're not needing it. Just
Right.
it's little simple things like that, and I try to like make sure that people understand that you don't have to be a technical genius in order to kind of move on the steps of digital preparedness.
Absolutely. And somebody, let me circle back to this here. Dragon Slayer, and actually, thank you. I almost skipped right over that. So for families, I mean, I have mixed thoughts about giving young ones cell phones, but I mean, it is what it is. Most people are going to do that at this point, and especially like if your kid is at soccer or little league and whatnot, it definitely makes sense. You want them to be able to have ways to contact family and stuff. You can set it on there. And you could tell, I mean, remember, who's paying the bills? The parent is paying the bills. Tell your kid, I don't care if they're 16 years old, 17 years old, they want to have that cell phone, that app stays on. And it will tell, you can actually get a lot of data off that, not just like where your kids are at, which I probably would have gotten in a lot of trouble if this had existed when I was a teenager. Thankfully, it didn't. But it'll tell you how fast they're driving in a car and things like that, too. So pretty handy for parents.
Yeah, definitely agree.
All right, so let's see. I saw a couple people pop in. Dragon Slayer, Successful Slave. Thank you so much, Bacon. I'm sorry you didn't get much sleep. Are you gonna still go live later on? Successful Slave says children still play outside. I think some do. This is a good suggestion too. AZ Arizona Highland Homestead cached offline maps and cameras are all I use when I'm out in the woods, and definitely like that idea of having your maps on your phone. I like that a lot.
Yep.
Angie, good to see you. Let's see. If you want to disappear, this is from Bacon. Faraday pouches. Yep. And I have not tested those. Did you ever get a chance to test those digital prep? I've seen other people test them.
I have not. But I've done a lot of research on Mission Darkness, and from everything that I've been looking at, it's more just a I'm waiting for like the right time to kind of get one monetary wise. But I mean I would buy so many of those in a heartbeat.
Exactly. From what the tests that I have seen, I completely trust that product. Absolutely. We're gonna get into like our wish list here in a little bit later on too. Fed Up American, thank you for coming in. Broken Neck, really appreciate you. Thank you for coming in. Look at that. That's how you do it right there. Yeah, I mean, I think at some point I'd like to do a whole stream just on that subject of like the importance of playing outside. And yeah, I get also that in some places it's not safe for some people. I understand that. But there's still, there's options for everybody, no matter where you live, to make sure your kids are getting that outside time. Really, really important. Good on you. I appreciate it. Crash and burn on a Friday night in a while. Why not tonight? Bacon, I'm sorry to hear that. If you gotta rest, you gotta rest. No worries here. We'll be all right if you need to tap out. And then somebody said you can make. Let's see. Dragon Slayer says you can make similar products yourself. I have seen some pretty good tutorials on that. I think Rogue Preparedness did one about a year ago, and I saved that. At some point, I was going to kind of play around with that myself. I haven't done it yet.
Probably a lot of aluminum foil, huh?
I think so. If I remember correctly, it was a lot of like heavy duty aluminum foil, cardboard, and so like layers, multiple layers basically. And then the inside of it, like whatever the electronics were, I don't remember if it was her or somebody else, had saved like all those, those anti-static things that will come with your devices a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get your hands on that, they have wrapped the device in that and then put it in like multiple layers of like heavy duty foil and cardboard. And I can't remember if there was something else too. There might have been like a wire mesh around it too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That's a good purchase right there. What would be the best way to protect it from an EMP? You want to tackle that one, DP?
Is that I kind of want to know if that's a gas or if that's a solar generator. Because I mean, depending on which one I mean, if it's a gas generator, odds are there's probably going to be no issue with it. I know I've done a video on like EMPs and whether or not they actually would be harmful to us, and I want to say like I'd say 8 times out of 10 that they're not really going to do that much. I mean, it really all depends on like location and what is triggering the EMP, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the actual question, now, if it's a gas generator, there's probably if it's a gas generator, then there shouldn't be any issue with it. A solar one, I mean, you could get like one of those. I mean, Mission Darkness sells so much stuff. Like they sell like huge bags that can actually you can actually put a whole generator in. I mean, you could get one of those. But you could just make sure that the device is off. I mean, you can't really hit a device with an EMP if it's off. But that's my opinion on that one.
Yep. And Fed Up American said it is gas.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yep. Bacon made a suggestion here about, you could actually convert a shed into like a large Faraday cage, basically.
Yep.
That's a good trade right there, Fed Up American. I love that. Good for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and you and I have talked about this before. I think you and I are kind of on the same page that I'm not so much worried about EMP as I am cyber attacks, like, because I just think, first of all, I think Hollywood and books have overplayed, it's not going to knock out every single car in the country. Will it knock out some? Yeah, probably. Will it cause some fires and things like that? Probably. But it's kind of overstated, and it's so much easier for an enemy nation if they wanted to cause havoc on us to do it through a cyber attack.
Yep.
And they get plausible deniability with it. Like, oh, we didn't do that. That must have been some rogue elements in our country. We'll help you track them down.
So, yeah, because it's kind of crazy that I mean, you guys just go to my channel. You'll see a whole bunch of different like cyber attack videos that I've done. I mean, that's kind of the thing that I'm not necessarily like preparing for. I mean, there's really little that you can do to prepare for that. You only can really prepare for the aftermath of those incidents. So, like for example, keeping like copious amounts of water at your location, so that and this has happened, so that if like cyber hackers or people that are doing the cyber attacks hack the water treatment facilities to raise the level of chemicals in the water for like people's tap water, then you'll still have nice clean drinking water, and you wouldn't have to worry about getting poisoned pretty much. Right. But yeah, that's crazy stuff.
Yep. Yeah, Unc, good to see you. Appreciate you. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for hanging out. I think Burpee Yoga Uncle just subscribed to you as well, Digital Prepper.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's a good friend to my channel as well. He's on just about every one of my videos, checking in and commenting and stuff. So I really appreciate you, Uncle.
Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff too. It's pretty good.
Yep. Does yeah. So just a sidebar here a little bit. If you all want to see somebody run a clinic on how to stay fit in your middle age, Burpee Yoga Uncle, I would not be able to keep pace with him. This guy did I think it was 500 straight days of burpee live streams and just hours and hours of burpees. Like most people would drop dead or puke, And then because he does so much exercise, then he goes out and does great taste tests of awesome restaurants and stuff like that. It's a fun channel.
Oh, nice.
All right, so let's shift gears just a little bit here. I had one more tech thing to bring up too. So I don't know if you saw this, but Apple is doing a little update so that for most people, this is a good thing. But of course, being a therapist, I'm going to see it from a different lens. They're going to put a feature on which will allow you to unsend a text, which most of the time that's great. You make a mistake, send it to the wrong person, whatever, just unsend it. Being a therapist, I can tell you that I have concerns and I'm going to try to get this out to probably through my mental health channel too. But when we're working with somebody that's been in a domestic violence situation, a lot of times, sometimes it takes a long time before they go to get help because they have to get to a place where they're wanting to do that, or they're, willing to take the risk because sometimes it's very dangerous to report it. But those texts, because a lot of times if somebody's in an abusive relationship, those texts, they'll be getting you keep your mouth shut or I'm gonna, kill you or whatever, that stuff's great evidence. And that can be really a game changer for people going to court who've been in dangerous situations like that, or if they're trying to get custody, they can prove that it's been a really abusive, unsafe relationship for them. Well, if the person can now just go and swipe that stuff away, they could potentially lose that. So what the counter to that is, unfortunately, the only thing that I could come up with is if you get an abusive text, as soon as you can, screenshot it, email it to a secret email that only you know about, and then delete the picture off your phone if you're worried about somebody seeing your abusive partner checking that picture.
Huh? That's kind of a weird thing.
It's a weird thing, and I'm sure that Apple didn't think about that. Again, I see the world through a different lens because of my work. So, yeah.
Because what I can see is it says that it'll give you 15 minutes after you've sent, so that you can completely either edit or unsend it.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually very interesting. I wonder if they can actually keep a log of if somebody has unsent a message or edited it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
I wonder what kind of stuff they have on that.
Yeah, I did a little digging, and apparently, getting back to the past 3 months of texts with a subpoena is doable. After 3 months, it gets a little bit more tricky, from what I was told. But that also is counting on the fact that maybe the person that's being victimized, that's being abused, has the resources to get a lawyer and do that subpoena. So,
right.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's ways to go further back than that, but I think that what I was told was if it's older than 3 months, it's a little bit more of a process. That makes sense. I mean, there's so much. Think about how many texts are being sent in the world every day.
Oh yeah. I mean, 3 months is honestly kind of surprising.
Yeah. Let's see a couple comments here before we move on. I haven't gotten to online banking. Call me crazy, but I still mail checks. I did that for a long time before I finally converted to online banking. It sounds like we do after a soda. I get frustrated. Folks from New York and older people losing their cookies. I'm not. Are you talking about I might have missed that. I'm sorry. Yeah, and Burpee Yoga Uncle does pull-ups with a Honda Civic strapped to each leg. He could do it, I bet. uh, let's see. Burpees and push-ups all day long. Pull-ups. Okay. Beyond fed up with Apple. Yeah. Oh, sorry to hear that. I've had pretty.
I honestly don't use Apple. Like
You don't like.
I actually have a Samsung phone, but I'll be honest. I mean, I don't know if my next phone is going to be a Samsung, just because Samsung kind of wants to move in the Apple direction, and I'm not sure if I like that.
Yeah, and for somebody who like me who's not as tech savvy, Apple has been, traditionally a good way to go because it's so user friendly and easy. My brother, who is a programmer, he obviously is more into like the Samsung products. So I think the more tech savvy people tend to prefer Samsung. All right. Oh yeah, that's a good point right there. Yeah. So I don't use Snapchat personally, but I know that that a lot of kids were doing stuff with it and then getting themselves in trouble because they thought like, oh, if I send this, it's deleted after whatever it was, 15 seconds or whatever. Yeah, maybe, but it's out there somewhere. And if somebody screenshotted it, now it's not going away.
Yep.
All right. So let's kind of shift just a little bit. What are your thoughts about the summer and the fall in terms of like what are you looking at? I know I've kind of had to change my strategy a little bit, and I'll give you my thoughts. But I'm curious as to, has your game plan changed for 2022 at all?
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm keeping an eye on certain things like I know there's the whole. I mean, I will say I'm in the Midwest, but I'm kind of looking over at places like California and that like whole area that's they've been having issues with like water. Uh, you know, I, the summer's hitting, so they're getting hit with all sorts of droughts, even like before the summer has actually hit. And I'm wondering like how that's going to kind of tie into the supply chain issues that we're still having. So I mean my plan is kind of the same. I've been currently I've been kind of just freeze drying everything that I can. I've been doing that. I've been kind of just like stocking up on different preps that I kind of need. But I think so far I'm kind of in a good place so far.
So more focused on food supply and food storage for yourself right now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. The state of the economy has got me seriously worried. I think as somebody who talks a little bit about financial prepping on my channel and very much an enthusiast of not just silver and gold, but I also, there's stocks that I like, and I sometimes talk about that as creating a passive income through dividend stocks, and even dabbled a little bit in cryptocurrency. And right now, it does not seem like there's any safe haven. There is nowhere good to park your cash, not for a middle class person like myself. So it's scary. It's a little scary. If we were in a better financial position, I would be dumping as much as I could right now into, and this is not financial advice for anybody in the chat or who's watching this on replay. This is just my own personal thoughts for me, my strategy. But if I was in a better financial position, I would be dumping a lot more money into like S&P because everything's so cheap right now.
Yep.
Will it continue to go down? I don't know. I mean, I honestly thought that it had reached a bottom, and then it just keeps bottoming further.
Yep.
So it's disturbing. I've had to change my strategy just a little bit because now we started noticing like our monthly budget was like, why are we a little bit lower than we usually are? gas, groceries,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's taken a toll. We're not in danger of not being able to pay a bill or anything like that, but we're just noticing like, whoa, budget, time to change the budget.
Yep. Have you
So
been what do you call it? Have you been like purchasing more like in terms of stocks and crypto or any or even uh like the silver and gold and stuff?
um I was, until I realized, until we took a look at the budget and realized we were bleeding. You always want to be, whatever your budget is, whether you're on like $500 a month or
Hmm.
$50,000 a month, you have to be, financially preparing. You have to be pulling in more than you're spending out, right? Like that's, otherwise you're bleeding money. And we started noticing like, whoa, we're bleeding money. So now we gotta change things up a little bit. Um, that's the difference between being in the red and being in the black. If people haven't heard that before.
Hmm.
So in financial terms, you want to be in the black. You always want to be having more coming in than you're spending out. So prior to noticing that like gas and groceries was killing us, I was putting more in, and I bought. Unfortunately, I did get in on Amazon before it split. I bought what I could afford with Amazon,
Oh,
and
nice.
Amazon just did a 20 to 1 split. Now it's still getting hammered, but Amazon's not going anywhere. I have no problems with
Hmm.
holding on to Amazon for a very long time. Google is getting ready for a split as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
that is supposed to happen soon, like July, I want to say 15th off the top of my head. So there's still time for people to get in on that. And then Tesla has just applied, I think today. There has been rumors for a while that they want to do a 7-to-1 split or a 3-to-1. I can't remember, a 3-to-1 split. So that's coming in August. Now, of course, Tesla's taken a major hit too.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, and those are all three of those companies. I had stock in and was continuing to buy stock in, but I've just had to kind of go more yellow light than green light, which is unfortunate because I do think we'll eventually come out of this. I just can't say when.
No, I can understand that. Like I'd say, like every so often, I get a paycheck, and I'll spend a small portion of it on stocks, and like I look at the the application that I use, and everything is everything is just down. It's
Everything.
it's all down, and I'm like, wow, I've technically since I haven't sold anything yet, but I'm like, wow, I've technically lost a lot lately.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully, it
frightening.
comes back up.
I mean, in theory, it should
Right,
eventually. Is it 6 months or 6 years?
right.
That's the thing, and you hope that it's not too long because then you lose that compounding interest, um, which hurts.
Yep.
You asked about precious metals, and a couple of people in chat are talking about that as well. So gold, in my opinion, is still at a very valued price. If I had the money to spend right now, yeah, I would absolutely buy another ounce of gold if I had the money to spare it.
Hmm.
Silver is a little bit more tricky at $22 a spot. It sounds good, but the premiums are what people need to watch out for. American Eagles, for example, which is one of my favorite coins, and it's a very sought after coin all around the world. So it has good resale value, good trading value. Unfortunately, the American Mint, from what I understanding, is having supply chain issues, and they're having trouble getting the silver for the blanks. So the premiums are super high. So what people, if you're new to silver and gold, if you're watching this, if you're new to silver and gold, what you need to know is the difference between spot price and premium. So you may see on any given website, you may see spot prices, for example, $22 an ounce. That doesn't mean you're getting it for $22 an ounce. You're going to pay the premium price, which is what the dealer is charging over that so that they can make a profit. Historically, so if like not too long ago, just a few years ago, silver was at $14 an ounce, and you could get an American Eagle for $22 or $23. Not bad. That's a premium that I'd be willing to pay for precious metals. The last time I checked, So now silver's at 22, but for an American Eagle, they're asking like $38. That's high. Yeah, that's high. So why is that a problem? Well, if you go to resell down the road, let's say 5 years down the road, you say, okay, I need some money. I got an emergency going on. My roof is leaking. I got to sell some of my silver. Okay. Well, you're probably going to get spot price if you sell back to a dealer or a coin. You might go to a coin show, whatever, or something like that, and you can probably get spot price back. In fact, I feel pretty confident saying if you're doing it the right way, you can get spot price back. Well, at that point, you're going to need spot price to be over $38, or you're in the red. You lost. That's why it's a problem. Now, you could sell to another person for higher than that, and people do on Instagram all the time. I see people making transactions. I personally would only do business with somebody that I know. So for example, if some of the channels that I've done business that I would trust, for me, I would have no problem dealing with Aloha Stacker or Patriotic Stacker, a Patriot Stacker. I'm sorry, I don't know Patriotic Stacker. He's a channel. I'm sure he's a good guy. I just don't know him. Clean Money, Silver Husky, any of those people. If I was going to personally sell, I would feel very comfortable with those people. But somebody, just a rando on Instagram that I've never dealt with, you're taking your chances that you might lose money.
Yep.
Rando. All right. So what else? Let's check our chat here. Saw a couple questions float in. Jump back just a little bit. Van Talk, thank you for joining us. Oh, I didn't know this. That's interesting. By the way, if you take a screenshot on Snapchat, it informs the other person, which should be worrying enough. Found a way around it. Oh, jeez.
Huh. That is interesting. Or you could like get another phone.
Yeah. You could do that.
Or another camera or something.
Right. Yeah, freeze drying is great, and you've been having a lot of fun with yours, right?
Yeah, it's been pretty fun. Like the I forgot who sent you the freeze dried goods for that giveaway that you did, but we did the same thing.
That was the preparedness guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but we did the same thing with the saltwater taffy. Wow, it was so delicious.
Yeah, I killed that bag in like one night, and then the Skittles lasted a little bit longer for me.
Yeah.
Hill Country Prepper, thank you for joining us. Let's see, Prepper Jack, good to see you, brother. Used to grow corn are full of weeds. Wow. See, that would be I wonder what's going on there, but if it's that might be where an opportunity for people to get some land really at a good price.
I wonder if that has anything to do with what do you call it? Like because of how the economy is currently, they have too much stuff and not enough people, buying it. So a lot of it is kind of just wasted.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about when the government pays people to not grow?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that does happen for people who don't know. When I lived in Kentucky, there was a farming community, and people would get paid not to grow tobacco when I was there. They were trying to reduce that. Let's see. Metals are the best bet for savings. Yeah, I mean, I'll say that they usually make up about 5% of my portfolio, but they've underperformed from where they should be too. So a lot of people say, well, at some point they're going to rock it. It should happen. It doesn't mean it's going to. They generally are first to rebound. That's why people like them. Yeah, so I probably need to do another metals video at some point. I've been kind of taking some notes on some things that I wanted to talk about. Yep. Copper, lead, and brass absolutely are precious metals as well. So a trebuchet. So on one of the one of the prepper forums that I'm on, somebody brought up a good question. They said, what do you intend to do about waste if, we had a really bad event and like system was down for a long time? And, I've heard stories about people who have plans and parts to build a trebuchet or a catapult that could launch waste into a neighboring into the neighborhood across the street.
Oh my God, that's
not
terrible.
not that anybody should do that. I'm not encouraging that. I'm not endorsing that. I'm just reporting what I read. Yeah, and that's the truth, right? So if employers are telling you, hey, good news, we're giving you a 5% raise, well, that's nice, but inflation's 9% right now. Yeah, try not to do that, because that just digs that hole deeper and deeper. As much as you can, try to get yourself off that if there's anybody out there doing the credit card thing. I know that sometimes you have to. I get it. Is crypto safe? That's a complicated question. I will say that this is just me personally, again, not financial advice. I dabble in crypto. Crypto is not in a good place right now. Crypto is way down, or maybe it is if you're thinking long term. My personal feeling, this is just me personally, not for anybody else saying like this is what's going to happen, but when the digital dollar comes, and eventually it will, right? It's being developed at MIT. It's called Project Hamilton, if you guys want to look that up.
Yep.
When that comes, my personal opinion is that's going to be a crypto killer for the other cryptos. Why? Okay, it's not going to be anonymous like Bitcoin. In theory, if you use it correctly, has some anonymity if you use it correctly. The DigiDollar, or whatever they decide to call it, the Hamilton coin or whatever, it will not have anonymity. But the average person is still going to convert to that, because it's going to be like sold as this is the new currency. And, you have 3 years to change in your dollars or whatever. This is just me speculating. So when that happens, I don't think it's going to be a good day for the other cryptos. But again, that's just me speculating. What do you think, DP?
I don't disagree, but I think because I did a whole video on like the digital dollar and what's going to happen in the future, because I agree with you. I think that is where we're going. Eventually, it's going to happen. But I know like they have it in place in like China, for example. And I know like India, they're planning on making another kind of digital dollar. I know in like Jamaica, they're also planning on doing the same thing. But specifically talking about China, since they already have it, there's still a lot of people still using non-Chinese digital currency, just because like they don't want to. and there's like I forgot the metric, but there's like, I want to say like maybe 5 to 10% of Americans that still don't even use banks.
Yeah.
They hold all their money, I don't know, under their mattress or wherever they want to hold it. But I mean, you're still going to have those people that they don't want to move to that new system. So I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to like send out police and go like, give me your money so that we can put it in our bank?
Probably not, but I could see, and again, we're just speculating here, but I could see where the fiat dollar over time would be devalued. Just like you can go to like coin shops and people will sell currencies that are not in circulation anymore, like Confederate currency and whatever. It's not worth anything except as a collectible to somebody. That's just, but again, just speculating here. I don't have a crystal ball any more than anybody else. That's really cool, Dragon Slayer. That must be kind of fun to have that resource.
Ooh.
And I'm not going to get too much into this today. Maybe I'll hit on it on my next time I do a precious metals video. But I don't store most of my metals at home, And most people will disagree with me at that. And they will say, if you're not storing it and you're safe at a home, then you don't really have ownership of it. Well, there's other factors. I live in an area that's very prone to hurricanes, flooding. We do occasionally get tornadoes too. I have mine in a vault that is much safer than anything that I can do in my home. I can get to it fast, and I'm willing to take that little bit of risk for that trade-off for me. So everybody's situation is different. And I know somebody who buries theirs in the backyard too. Legit. Yeah. They showed me how they do it. They basically put it in mason jars and bury it, and then mark it on, a map or whatever that they can interpret. You know what I mean?
Huh. That's actually a good way to do it. As long as you don't forget where it is.
As long as you don't forget where it is. And this person had like over 50 acres too. So like, it's not like you could say, oh, I'll just go in his backyard with a metal detector. You're going to be out there for a very long time. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be a concern. The weed issues going at least the rest of this year. I'm worried about that conflict between Russia and Ukraine dragging on for years. I hope not.
Yeah, I really hope not. I just hope dude doesn't do anything really crazy. He's already kind of lost his mind.
And from a psychology standpoint, there's somebody who's kind of unstable and power hungry and whatnot. You never want to back that person into a corner where they feel like they have no other options left, because somebody like that will do as much damage on their way out as they can. So if they, in other words, like if they thought that, let's just make up a fictitious country, okay? And let's say that the country of Atlantis had a leader that was, somewhat of a despot or a tyrant or whatever, and the Acme country decided that they were going to take out this person. That type of personality, if they feel like the end is nigh, is going to do as much damage as they can on their way out because they don't care about anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll leave it at that. All right. So our next thing, I think that catches us up. So the next thing we were going to talk about here is what is on your gear wish list? Is there anything that you're thinking about for a purchase for 2022? Either pie in the sky budget, if money was no object, or like, something a little bit closer to home.
Let's see. That's actually a great question. Actually, funny enough, before I get into my wish list, one funny just small thing that you can go on Amazon, you can go get this for, I want to say like $25. It might sound a little expensive, is one of those space pens.
Mm-hmm. Those are cool.
I will tell you right now, they work. It's awesome. But I will say the only thing is I didn't realize how small this thing was. It's pretty small. I'd say it's like maybe like 3.5 inches. Mm-hmm. It's really not that big, but I mean, it could write in space, you could write upside down, you could write underwater, you could write in freezing cold temperatures or very hot temperatures. It's kind of fun.
They are cool. I have wanted one of those for a while. Did you get one that's like the metal casing and stuff, so it's actually got it's got some tactical applications to it too?
It is silver. It's like a little like kind of chrome plated one. It's like, because there's other people that I guess sell space pens, but this is like the legitimate like space pen from whoever made the space pen. So I mean it's not like a tactical pen, so it doesn't have like any kind of glass opener or anything like that. Gotcha. I already have another tool for that.
You got something else, yeah.
Yep. But in terms of in terms of like long-term kind of like plans, I honestly what I kind of want to do, I kind of want to get one of those like home house generators, just so that if there's any sort of like issues with like power outages or anything like that, I mean, in the Midwest, you also get like tornadoes and such. So yeah, I kind of want to get prepared for that. In either having like a whole house generator hooked up, or getting like one of those just normal gas generators. One of those that's kind of like a big major purchase that I kind of want to get towards.
Okay, good choices there.
I love bacon.
I'll read this comment right now. All right, so pie in the sky budget for me. If I had the money right now, I'd get a Berkey, and this is for if you're maybe somebody in the chat, or maybe somebody who's watching this on replay. If you're sitting on, you've got the budget to do it. Berkey water filters are phenomenal. They are the gold standard, and that would I do not have one. I wish I did. I've got some other filter systems, and my backpacks have like the Sawyer stuff, and those are good too. But the home ones that the big silver containers that can go on in your kitchen, that would be my first choice if I was going to make a big purchase. Do you have one of those?
I do not. All I have is a life straw. I have a single life straw. But no, I would definitely agree with you. Those things are what, like $400, something like that.
I think they're in that range. But from everything I've read, like it is pretty much the best in the business in terms of like gold standard. Yeah. And by the way, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, as long as you get like a whole bunch of the filters, you'll be set.
Yep, for a long time. Yep. A little upgrade from the life straw when you're ready to do it. The Sawyer systems are pretty good too. And I have some life straws too in the bug out bags and things like that as a backup. The only problem with those is like, having watched a few people who tried to do a whole weekend with the life straw, they talked about like it gets old pretty fast. Try to have get down into a puddle to take your water.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So on a very related note, probably a more affordable wish list item for me is those Grayl filters, GRAYL. Have you seen those?
I don't think I've heard of that brand before. GRAYL.
Yeah, let me see if they've got it on Amazon. I might be able to link it. These are really cool. And they've got, let's see. So they're sitting in like the $100 range. And these are portable. So like this is something you could put with your bug out bag or your hiking gear and stuff like that. I'm gonna drop it in the chat right now. Those
looks like it's like a water bottle type thing.
Yeah. And it's basically it's a press. So what you do is you dip it into the water. Like let's say you found a puddle or whatever, or a little pond. You dip into there, and then there's a second piece of it, like a cup within a cup, and you push it down. As you push it down, and it forces it through filtration. Pretty cool system.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And then if I think I'm going to pull the trigger on this one in the fall. I'm going to do you know Essie knives? Have you seen those?
I have not, but I know you I know you like your knives.
I do. And these are really nice Bushcraft knives. They're usually the $100 range or so.
Okay.
So right now for like my main, when I go hiking and stuff like that, I use the Gerber Strong Arm. Those come in around $50, and those are good. Like it's pretty much going to last you a lifetime. But this is just a little bit of an upgrade from that. Let's show you that one there. So those are pretty cool. Catadine, yeah. Somebody Bacon mentioned Catadine. Catadine is a really good system too.
Silver impregnated ceramic filter. Huh, nice.
And Successful Slave says with the Berkeys to remember to clean the filters every month. Yep. All right. All right. So anyways, let's kind of start to wind this one down. Celtics are coming on later on tonight. I'm ready for that.
Nice.
Really excited about that. They're up 2-1. So as we prepare for the weekend, do you have and by the way, if you're watching this video, if you're enjoying it, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out the Digital Preppers channel. I'm going to drop the link again right now. And if you're watching this on replay, it's going to also be in the description. Please give him some support. And if you're on Twitter, check him out on Twitter as well. So as we head towards the weekend here, what do you got coming up? Is there any video projects in the works that you can tell us about, or you want us to be surprised?
I do have some stuff in the works. I know it's more of, like I gotta get stuff recorded and then editing and all that kind of stuff. Hey there, Pilgrim. But yeah, no, it could be a surprise.
Okay.
I think you guys will like it.
Okay. All right. I've got for mine, I'm going to try to get this out for Tuesday. I've got a little maintaining good mental health in the time of the apocalypse. It's something along those lines. That's supposed to be Tuesday if I can get it edited.
Nice.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show again. You're always a good guest, and Pilgrim, thank you for popping in. I really appreciate you too. You've been a good friend to the channel too. We need to get the three of us together somehow.
Yeah.
Those of you who are watching, thank you everybody for joining in tonight. Great chat, great questions. Really appreciate everybody. If you are still watching now, a couple last minute parting words from Sarge. If your mom is alive, give your mom a call. Tell her you love her. I wish that my mom was still alive on Earth to be able to have that conversation. She's in heaven, so I can only talk to her through spiritual means now. So if your mom's alive, be grateful. Say, give her a call. Tell her you love her. If you have anybody out there that you're holding back forgiveness for, if you're holding a grudge, and it's not something like they did you really wrong, like they kicked your puppy or something, if it's just an old grudge, consider giving forgiveness. Call them up. Settle the score in a good way. Life is too short to be holding on to grudges. Any words of wisdom you want to impart here?
Actually, going to Bacon's question right there. Have I heard of haveibeenpwned.com? I definitely 100% recommend that website to check out, if there's any like data breaches with any sort of companies and such. And you can also like put in your email to kind of like cross references that with some of those sites just to see if your email is within that company's like data breach. Definitely would recommend that website. I would just go ahead and check that out.
Awesome. Good resource. Thank you, Bacon. Thank you, DP. And Rusty, you're right. I'm sorry. I always say moms because my mom's in heaven, but you're right. Call your dad too. Absolutely. Dads are amazing too. And Father's Day is coming up. So definitely call your dad. Wish him a happy Father's Day. All right, everybody, let's call it a night with that so everybody can get back to your families. Make sure you get outside, do something fun this weekend, hug your family, keep planting your seeds, keep stacking your silver. This is Digital Prepper and Sarge.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.